We are ready for our final bout this evening, so would you please welcome to the cage, Nick Brown. And now, would you welcome to the cage, Sean Flynn. Ladies and gentlemen, our final bout tonight is welterweight professional mixed martial arts over 3 5-minute rounds of action. And in the blue corner, he weighed in at 75.3 kg. He represents the MMA Terror Squad, Nick Brown. And his opponent across the cage in the red corner. He weighed in at 73 kg even. He represents Premier MMA, Sean Flynn. Your referee, Mr. Sam Amidi.
Our final bout tonight, being at Lion Fighting Championships 13, an incredible card tonight. Is professional MMA in the welterweight division. Nick Brown in the blue corner from the MMA Terror Squad. Sean Flynn from Premier MMA in the red.
And Nick Brown is an absolute beast. I mean, he cuts down from 84 kilos and always comes in really big for his fights. And he just conserves that power and tenacious pace. But I mean, it's not like to forget Sean Flynn. He's super fast. He's got an excellent 1-2 combination. He's very savvy off his back. Brown doing a great job of utilising the overhooks there. But that's allowing him to get turned again on the cage by Flynn.
Yeah, looking to slip down there for the underhooks now. Dean, you saw the movement of the arms from Brown.
Brown looking to force Flynn back to the cage, and just the timing of Flynn, able to switch pivot round, and now finds himself pressing Brown up against the cage, but again, he's got to start fighting these double underhooks.
Yes, the power struggle here against the cage. Match 2 at welterweight.
So, being pro MMA, you can see the elbows just glance for. Just about to say, it looked like he was setting it up, Malcolm. He's forcing the head away, typical of a Muay Thai technique. Force the head away and fire the elbow over the top, looking for cuts and potentially knockouts.
That's right, the pro MMA, you've got to watch for these things. A lot more subtlety now in close range when they clinch up.
And Flynn is just very cerebral. You almost never know what he's going to do, and he's rocked him.
Brown blinks there, you're right, Dean. He caught him clean. Again, remaining patient, though, as he comes forward.
Yeah, Flynn's got to be calm and composed here, gain the distance and start trying to fire to the head. He's super fast, so he's got to start implementing this distance and fire from that perfect range.
And again, Brown in the clinch, look for the knee to the head there, look to create space, foot stamp from Flynn in reply. Checks the knee from Brown. Subtle work, there's the short elbow as well, Dean, now.
Excellent work from Flynn. He's just able just to be so patient in this position and really just capitalize on the opening. He's a very good counter striker, and I think that translates here to his MMA game. He's just, when an affordance presents itself, he jumps all over it, but he doesn't rush it. It's such a crazy thing to watch.
And again, as you said, those little turns from Flynn at key moments, just as we saw then, set up Nick Brown perfectly there.
Big hip toss there, looking for the Haraya Goshi. Now finds himself on top, side control, controlling the head. He'll look to drop elbows from this position, Malcolm, to open up the mount.
Yes, dangerous times here now from Nick Brown. And again, it was from the timing of Sean Flynn. And you mentioned again about the brain there at work, and we saw it early in the round and he hinted at it.
I'd like to see Flynn now drag Brown away from that cage, because he used that to push around, and they see into the half guard. It was that cage, the push off the cage from Nick Brown. And Flynn should have circled him away from the cage so he couldn't come in contact with it.
Just dropping the elbows though now, as you said, the crowd responding as he drops those elbows. The heavy left elbow onto the head of Nick Brown. He won't want to take too many of those.
The right arm of Brown is blocked, so he's eating those elbows, but at the correct second, there he goes, firing around. He's looking for the full guard. But again, and this is the pro MMA realm, when the elbows open up positions and they just open up an affordance from the top that is not seen in the amateur ranks. A big elbow there, Malcolm.
Chopping right elbow, downward chopping, cutting tool as well. Nick Brown under real pressure here as Flynn keeps this up.
I'd like to see Nick Brown try and cage walk to force his hips backwards, post an arm, and look to stand up. He can't be underneath Flynn here. Flynn's just got dominant control from the top. Looking for the leg lock there, but he's got to be careful, because even though he's reached round there, Malcolm, with his right hand, what he's doing is he's pinning his own arm and opening up his head to ground and pound attacks.
Yeah, dangerous times, and again we saw Flynn drop the left, then the right elbow. Little digs to the body of Nick Brown here. And it's pressure and control from the man from Premier MMA. Now the left hand firing in.
Brown needs to explode to his feet here. He needs to utilise the up kicks to make Flynn wary of coming in and then explode to his feet.
Well, he hasn't, Dean, and Flynn has capitalised again, and it's a big opening round for the man in the red corner with the last 10 seconds here.
Some nice short elbows there from Flynn. He's got to be careful with the armbar, however.
Well, big round there for Sean Flynn in the red corner. Round 2 of a potential 3. We had Flynn taking that first with the right decision-making, Dean. It was as simple as that, wasn't it?
Just the pressure from the top. And if you look at these two athletes, you determine Brown would be the stronger, more powerful fighter, but Flynn negated that, and again, he's doing that here. He's just placing his weight in the right direction and keeping his hips square. You can see there, look, he's following Brown across the cage and keeping that pressure constantly on a beautiful elbow there from Flynn.
Yeah, been a trademark from Sean Flynn tonight, the chopping elbow, either from the ground and pound or upright like this against the cage wire. Short chopping motions.
Brown now taking some deep breaths up against this position, and it's kind of the unsung hero is the cardio in these positions, looking for the outside trip, gets it, Flynn now on top.
And he was dominant in the previous round from this position, and we saw the downward elbows the moment he got himself free and managed to posture up. And there's potential for this left elbow again now, Dean.
Brown again looking to kick off the cage, and Flynn's got to drag him away from that position. There we go, you see it, kicked off the cage, but it got him out of a bad spot, now into the potentially, oh, he brought himself for the mount. This is dire, comes out the back door. Very savvy movement there from Nick Brown on the bottom.
And he needed it, Dean, because as you said, that could have been an awful position with the full mount there, potential for Flynn. But again, as much as he's defending, he's allowing Sean Flynn to dictate the action, Dean, and rack up the points.
Flynn looks like he was trying to set up the head and arm triangle there, but Brown got his arm round and now finds himself utilising the butterfly hooks. See if he works the sweep over to his left side. He can use the elevator hook if he can block the right arm there of Flynn.
But another thing you've mentioned throughout the evening, Dean, how the action changes when the sweat really starts to flow. And in this second round now, these two men are bathed in it.
Yeah, much more slipperier, easy to pop out of certain positions and submissions due to the kind of the sweat there that acts as a lubricant. But I mean, we're seeing a great control here. He's got one foot. He's got his left foot there. Brown's got his foot on the hip of Flynn and then one elevator hook, and he's just really disrupting the hips. And we've seen Flynn thus far be really dominant on the top when he's able to fire his hips downward to the floor and control Brown. So Brown's actually evolved his grappling game with regards to his opponent in this fight so far.
Yes, Flynn looking to posture up again. You know he'll look to drop the arms, but as you said, a lot tighter from Nick Brown here.
And the ref's looking on there. Almost certainly Brown wants this as a stand-up. He's threatening the wrist control there. Could be the sweep. There we go. That's what I was talking about. The elevator sweep. But he needs to block the right side of Flynn to obtain it. But he's eating punches, Malcolm.
Yes, Flynn capitalises at every opportunity. We mentioned how slippery it is now. Now, Denson, a big, deep breath from Nick Brown here as the pace begins to tell here in round two.
There we see the left elbows opened up, and that is due from Sean Flynn. He's utilising that underhook there on the left arm of Brown. That really stops Brown manoeuvring on the bottom.
And again, those little chopping elbows, slight motion and the little hammer fists. But it's all eating the clock and eating the resistance of Nick Brown and his ability to get back into this round. I feel if it stays this way, he's going to need a submissional stoppage in the third.
Brown taking some big deep breaths again. Some nice elbows from the bottom. Again, Flynn is looking to pass. He's got such dominant top control. And the way that Brown's kind of, you see there on his right hand, he's holding onto the foot of his opponent, and that is just serving him to eat punches and elbows.
That's it. It's almost like he's trapped, his own arm is trapped now, that right arm. Dangerous times indeed for Nick Brown.
This is what Brown needs to do. Work the unhooks, post up on one arm, shoot his hips back to the cage, and cage walk up to his feet.
As it is, he's forced to eat more left elbows there from Sean Flynn.
And this is kind of a game of kinetic chess. There's a lot going on here. Doesn't seem like too much to the person that hasn't seen MMA a lot. But, oh, he's looking for the heel hook now. He's going to lock up the leg, Malcolm. It's a leg lock fight here we've got going on.
Oh, what a turnaround here. Brown sees the opportunity and goes for it. But which man is going to come out successful here, Dean?
Brown's wincing in pain there. Looks like Flynn is looking for the Achilles lock. Difficult to see from this angle. And the heel hook there from Brown.
But well, last 10 seconds though, Dean, but what an attempt by Brown.
It's such a crazy game, the leg lock game. You've almost got to really look for the little nuances here, but to get out of this position, you've got to strip the legs, but we'll come to the end of the round.
And I've got Sean Flynn 2 rounds in the ascendancy with 1 to go. Well, Dean, 5 more minutes in this tough professional contest between these two men.
And the sweat is pouring off Nick Brown, and he's breathing heavy, and they see him there in the corner. But he's eaten that left hook, Malcolm. He's hurt.
Yes, there's left and rights, there's uppercuts. He looks to tie up as Sean Flynn explodes into action, and I feel Brown is finally feeling the pace here now, Dean.
Yeah, Brown's starting to wilt. And noticeably there in the corner in between the rounds, he was hand on his knees sucking air. I mean, that would just serve for Sean Flynn to put more pressure on as he fires the knee. He's eating some really dangerous shots that he wasn't eating earlier on in this fight, Malcolm.
Yes, it's hard times here for Nick Brown now, as Sean Flynn is relentless in his pressure and the way he's pushing forward now.
Then again, using the whizzer, overhook. Brown started to disrupt the balance here from Flynn. Looking for the takedown, outside trip, gets it. Now let's see the top gain of Nick Brown.
And he needs it. He needs a big round here, all the submissional ground and pound. This is vital times for the man in the blue corner here.
There's the sweep from Flynn. It's exactly what Nick Brown wasn't doing earlier on in this fight. He wasn't utilising those hooks to alleviate the sweep here. Sean Flynn did it almost instantaneously.
And it's Nick Brown in trouble again, and you feel there's so many factors working against him now, not least the fatigue of this constant pressure from Sean Flynn.
Flynn now passes into side control, and Brown again would look to walk up on the cage to explode off the cage. Sneaking that left knee in, but Flynn now is looking to establish this position. He's got his arm trapped there. Brown's threatening the Kimura from that position, difficult to finish just due to the position and where he is on the cage, but threatening it nonetheless. And again we see the left arm there blocked of Brown. That opens up that side of his head for the punches, and we see him raining down here right in front of us, Malcolm.
Yes, it's trying times again for Brown. Sean Flynn, his fitness telling the knee comes flying in as well now. And he has been relentless in his pursuit of Nick Brown, hasn't he?
Flynn was with that thunderous knee right in front of us here. I could feel that through the cage onto the commentary table. He's really slamming these punches in, making them count. These are not just little distraction punches, they are to do damage, Malcolm.
And Nick Brown really needed something here. Instead, he's having to eat those right hands again. As you said, he looks to buck up, but Flynn powering in these right hands now.
Flynn very heavy with his hips, but he just gives Brown an inch and he takes it. Now he finds himself in side control again. A better position to have somebody having that back position and slamming punches in, so he's better off here. Not much better off, but he needs again to explode out of this position. Use the cage. The cage is his friend in this time.
Yeah, but Sean Flynn, you feel, just needs to see this out. He needs to be sensible, needs to stay focused, and this is going to be a big win for him. It's been a real grinding performance from Flynn.
Brown again using the cage to walk up. Flynn's got to drag him away. He's got to drag him around to the right side, away from that cage, to try and get him closer to the centre of the cage.
And again, the right knee just pushes into the midsection of Nick Brown.
You see Brown here with a figure four threatening the Kimura, and usually what you do is you'd need your guard and you need the cage not to be there to sweep. So Brown would sweep him over the body of himself, but again the cage is there stopping Flynn here from going over.
Desperate times, and again now the right arm trapped of Nick Brown here. Sorry, the left arm.
Again, he gives up his back, dangerous position to sit. Needs to be very active, think about standing up. Again, he's looking to set up the Kimura trap, but he ends up getting his back taken, Malcolm.
He's trying to twist here, but it's the icing on the cake for Flynn here from a dominant position and a dominant performance throughout this round. There's the dropped elbow again. Now he's got the back thing.
Full body triangle here. This is going to serve to keep him very tight. He's going to sneak the arm underneath, and there's the tap.
A big, big win for Sean Flynn, but it was on the cards this round, and an emphatic finish from the man in the red corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 hard rounds of professional MMA. Please, let's hear it for both your warriors in the cage. But we do have your winner by way of rear naked choke in 4:17 of the final round. It's the red corner, Sean Flynn.
Yeah, quick word here with Sean. Sean, a spectacular rear naked choke finish there. But I noticed that on top you were very dominant. How did you keep that position without getting swept?
I could feel that he had good bottom game. He was shooting for leg locks and Americanas quite a lot, so I had to be wary while I was on top, so I didn't want to rush anything this evening.
It's a very patient tactics. I noticed you pinning his arms, almost looking for the top control submissions, but the crucifix position that you threatened enabled those elbows to slip through.
I was really trying to use my elbows a little bit more. Now I've got the pro rules. I can use them and utilise them with my jiu-jitsu, so that's what I tried to do this evening. I recently got my brown belt after Master Chris Ferran, so it was nice to come in and get submission.
Beautiful finish. Congratulations, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Flynn.